Now back to the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener Radio Show, which is presented to you by Power Planter Earth Augers, the official digging tool. To find the right size for your digging project, visit powerplanter.com. Now here are your hosts, Joey and Holly Baird.
Welcome back to the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener Radio Show. Appreciate you hanging around for the program. If you got a question, we probably got an answer for you. You can get a hold of us by emailing us at gardentalkradio@gmail.com. That's gardentalkradio@gmail.com. You can also give us a call right now or anytime at 1-800-927-SHOW. That's 1-800-927-SHOW. That'll put you in direct contact with us. If we can't get to your call, leave a message. We will call you back with the answer to your question. We had a number of questions come in this week, Holly, and we'll see how many we can get through here. One is, we'll start with this one. I have a small tomato patch, and many of the tomatoes are cracking before they're red. What is there I can do in order to prevent this? Thank you, Jim.
Well, one is, there's a couple of reasons. One is that it can be genetics of the particular variety. And then also cracking occurs when there's an inconvenience of moisture in the soil. So maybe there's too much water, the tomato will grow too rapidly, faster than the skin. Like the inside of the tomato grows faster than the skin. And that's when the cracking occurs. Or if there's a dry spell, that can cause a problem too.
All right. Let's see here. A friend of mine has the blackening brown bottom of the tomato, and it's ripe on the top. Well, what's going on, and can you help me? Well, this is blossom and root rot. This occurs whenever there's been a inconsistency of moisture in the soil. The soil is too dry, then it gets too wet, and then the plant has already developed the fruit that's on the vine, and there's not enough calcium that's being released from the soil to be uptaken by the plant, and then the bottom of the tomato plant does not develop correctly. So it's not that we don't need to add Epsom salt, we don't need to add milk, we don't need to add Tums. We just need to water. 99% of the soils in all the gardens across the country just need to water in order to allow that mineral to be able to be uptaken by the plant. If it's too dry, it locks it up in the soil and the plant can't uptake it. Then the plant is trying to develop a fruit with not enough of the elements or nutrients or minerals that it needs in order to do it correctly. So that's what's going on there.
Water consistently.
Water consistently, yes.
Okay, so any idea why my Yukon Gold tomatoes have
potatoes?
Yukon Gold tomato have a darkened hollow center. This has happened the past several years. I am in southeast Wisconsin.
Well, this can happen anywhere, not just southeast Wisconsin. This is called hollow heart. It occurs because of uneven moisture during the tuber development, and then you have this hollow point, in a hollow dark area inside of the potato. Now, it is edible. You can cut around it and it's fine. But sometimes it's called brown heart or sugar center. It's found everywhere where potatoes are grown. There's not a place where it's not. It's just inconsistent watering. That's the problem. You got to have the moisture correct at the time of potato development on that. So that's what it is. It's called hollow heart. Also known as brown heart or sugar center in potatoes. So keep that in mind if that's something that's going on in your potato patch. Let's see here. Can I let my plants go to seed and let them drop the seeds and let them grow again where they're at, such as onions or lettuce or radishes? Thank you very much. Yes and no.
You can. But there could be a problem.
Radishes, not a problem. They're going to seed. Lettuce, not a problem. It's going to seed. It's the onions or the leeks that you're going to have problems with because you got to get these things spaced out so the bulb develops correctly, and you got to have good soil, loose soil for the bulb to grow. So if we've allowed lettuce seeds and radish seeds to go to seed and they've dropped, and we have a lot of volunteers. That's what it is. I call it in the industry whenever these plants naturally come up from previous year's seed drop. Volunteers. For plants such as onions or leeks where you need that proper spacing, you can let that occur. However, you have a much better success rate if you start them indoors, under grow lights, and take care of them that way rather than, because not all of them are going to seed just right or be buried under the soil just right. So certain plants it works well, other plants it does not. We got time for one more, Holly. I love your podcast, and I planted several kinds of pole beans. The purple ones have rust on them, bean rust. But the neighboring beans do not seem to be affected in any way. Is this common? How do I prevent this from happening again? How do I sanitize my seeds before planting? And how do I save the seeds?
Okay, so this is not a seed problem, and I can kind of get where that question comes from. So you don't have to worry about sanitizing the seeds.
You think you've got bad seeds that's carrying that disease. Yeah.
That makes sense. But unfortunately, bean rust is an airborne fungus. The spores travel through the air, and if your plants are planted close together, they're going to be more susceptible to that. So if you do have that bean rust, it is going to go through the air. Now, typically, when the bean rust occurs, it's near the end of the season,
right,
for the beans. So,
and typically it hits everything. So if you've got a variety that's not being affected and the adjacent kind is, save those seeds or know what you planted there and grow them again, because they may be more resistant to that particular strain of rust.
Right. So that's the issue. Is it's an airborne disease. So what you want to do to prevent this from reoccurring is you want to pull those plants out and you want to trash them. Don't burn them. Don't compost them. Don't mulch with them. Just trash them.
Get rid of them. Yeah. And that will help reduce the potential of infestation or infecting the garden come next year.
For more information, please visit thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com.